Hello, and thank you so much for stopping by my Capstone project today. Today I'm going to go ahead and give you a quick tour of my Capstone project so you kind of can gain an understanding of who I am and what my capstone is supposed to represent. So my name is Steve Breest, and I am from Salt Lake City, Utah. I currently work for the University of Utah. I work for a lab there called the Genetic Science Learning Center, and we create learning modules for K through 12 for science education teachers and educators, and also public health. In this program, I had decided to really highlight on why I was a part of this program and what I was trying to achieve. And my main brand from this program is that I'm a technology librarian. I'm very comfortable with technology. I believe in it. And I definitely think that technology is a great tool to have in place in order to continue and further librarianship. So let's go ahead and check out my capstone project. So as you can see, I went ahead and I used green, black, and gray. I was actually trying to utilize my house colors from Harry Potter. And as you can tell, I am a Slytherin. I started the page off with a picture of myself at work and then a video just kind of giving you an introduction of who I am. So I went ahead and I tabbed out some of the different places. And so the first thing that we're going to go ahead and look at are the program outcomes. So I had set up my capstone project to show the program outcomes right here as a list, and also here as well with each of the different philosophies underneath them. Now, you can either click the links on the left side or you can click the links in the middle, and they will take you to each of the pages describing different projects that I felt represented these philosophies. So the first one is Foundations of the Profession, and I decided to release a newspaper article and a PowerPoint presentation talking about an ethical situation at a local public library and how we would have handled the situation that the current director that was there had to deal with. I felt like this was probably one of my better projects. I really enjoyed doing it. I loved creating the PowerPoint and also the newspaper layout. The second one is information resources. And on the information resources page, I decided to link my website that I had created with another member discussing resources for librarians and parents that are looking for preschool library literacy programs. There's also a lesson plan on the website for librarians if they would like to try and share these resources with their colleagues or with other parents that are looking. The next project I wanted to go over was organization of recorded knowledge and information. On this one, I give you guys a video presentation that I did with a group of individuals. We did a lot of research on different types of nerd groups out there, and we took the information of the different aliens that you could meet and created a organization schema so that you guys could go in, type in a name of an alien, and then it would bring up certain information about that alien so that you would understand how to interact with them. We did create a video presentation discussing our organization information resource lab. So please check it out. It's definitely good. The next one is technological knowledge and skills. And on this, I went ahead and gave you guys a copy of a technology plan and a presentation that I created with the group. In this, we created a technology plan in order to help a library who was looking to upgrade their current system that they had in place for image searching. And so we went into detail on how they could change their digital asset management system and upgrade to Omeka. And you can see that by looking at the technology plan, which we created a wiki. And this wiki was completely written in wiki language, which I did. And then we also have a copy of the presentation that we did in front of the classroom. The next one we're going to look at is reference and user services. So I wrote a paper discussing information seeking behaviors. I went to 2 different libraries. I went to the City Library, which is a public library, and the Marriott Library at the University of Utah, which is an academic library. And I shared my experience of trying to see if they use RUSA standards in order to answer a patron's reference question. So definitely a good one. The next one we did is Program Outcome 6, which is research. I did a group paper and poster presentation with 2 other individuals. We did research on 16 millimeter film and how they were being utilized and preserved in an academic library. So we looked at what was currently being done and what has been done and what could be done in order to continue offering and preserving 16 millimeter film inside of a library. I did put together the presentation and also the poster, and then the paper was written and edited by everybody in the group. The next one we're going to go ahead and look at is continuing education and lifelong learning. I decided to share a paper about my experience of interviewing a MLS professional at the Marriott Library. This paper was written and also given out to all of the students in order to read about my experience and also start a discussion about what I had learned and things that we should be aware of when we are looking at our profession and where we want to go in the library or information world. So it was definitely a good paper. The last one of the program outcomes is administration and management. On this one, I gave you guys a copy of the employee justification budget. I wanted to give you guys an opportunity to see what it was like for me to review a case study, understand who my employees were, and how I would potentially edit a budget based on just using employee referrals and also other types of justification that are within the budget to figure out, do we need more staff or should we worry more about the collection, and how do you justify the cuts and needs for your particular library. On the professional values, I went ahead and did, our service one, which was a grant application that I did with a group of individuals. This group and I, we did some research on service group in a library. So we decided to deal with adults, and we wanted to apply for a grant in order to offer adult literacy programs in a public library. This would require us to get money for staff time, books, and then also continuing the program throughout the year for the adults. This one, I was the project leader of this project. So my role was to handle the grant application, make sure everybody was on task and doing what they needed, and then helping along the way. So if somebody needed more help with the research or writing out the budget, I jumped in and took a stab at what I could do in order to continue the project. So I also did the final edit and submit this to our professor for the grant. So, yep. On the second professional values, on the leadership, I decided to give you guys a project management skill assessment, which is basically I had to read a bunch of different articles and then assess myself as a leader, who I was as a leader today, who I have been in the past, and where I was hoping to be a leader in the future, especially dealing with the library world. So For the Integrity Project, I decided to submit a summer teen reading program that I had wrote. On this summer teen reading program, I do look at program statements, stakeholder analysis, and risk assessment. And with that being said, I also looked at how do we handle these situations that do come up in the library during these programs and what we can do to handle them and to continue the project. The last thing that I wrote was the mentor page. And on the mentor page, I decided to give you guys a copy of a website that I created with a group of individuals during my time in London. I had the opportunity to take a current issues course within the program, and they sent me off to London to explore and research what libraries were like in the United Kingdom. We created a website discussing those different types of libraries and also other things you should be aware of if you decide to go to London and do research. Yep. And then the last pages that we have on here is my work. So I go into a little bit of description about what I do at the GSLC. And I also give you guys a link to a website that my group and I created while I was in school that was towards my actual job. It was great. This website is being utilized at the University of Utah. And I was pretty proud that we were able to do this sort of work for them. I also have a copy of my resume, which is in PDF form, so you can download that. And then the last page is basically the contact page. Go ahead and submit your email, a subject, and send me a message if you have a comment or you want to talk to me a little bit more about the projects I did here. Please do. And thank you so much for stopping by today and looking at my project. I do hope that you enjoy what you saw and you leave me a comment and let me know how I'm doing. Thanks again, and I hope you have a wonderful day.